WFA presents The Inner Circle.
And away we go!
Starring Coach Ant and Coach Rel.
I think going into that point right there, for me, in the healing process, there's two things that I was thinking. I think watching it from a bunch of, you're around a lot of kids. We're around, both of us are around a lot of kids. I think most people dive into shutdown mode and wake up the next day as if that day didn't happen. And what can I do to make that day have never happened?
Yeah.
So they surround themselves with vices. I think what me and Ant connected on as people is when I was that age of 8, 9, 10, I dove into the why. So first I started challenging myself like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. They don't want to be around me. I'm not that special. On my pod, I was talking about my grandfather. My grandfather reiterated these claims to me because he would say degrading things to me. So now I'm starting to believe what he's saying because it's matching my life. Like, I'm not of value. I'm not special. I'm not this. And you're right. Your daughter didn't take me on. She left me here. She dumped me here. My father didn't take me on. So I'm starting reading. But I'm like, all right. Then I'm looking at other kids and I'm seeing what they got going on. So I'm like, maybe it's not just a me thing, right? Maybe it's a person thing. Maybe depending on the type of people you get, the type of situation you're going to have. So then that brought me a long fast forward. We had a Bible study and you get certain revelations when you're reading and hearing things. And I'm like, I used to ponder, like, what is the purpose of us all being here? And that the people that run the Bible study is Ant and our boy John. And the underlying theme that I'm getting from God is choose him. So no matter what, so all I'm getting is, but the point I'm getting at is, no matter what situation you're born into, if you choose God, he gonna love you with the love he was looking for
the entire time.
But if you look for human beings, and this is the thing, if you put the love of what you're looking for in human beings, they will fail you every time because we're flawed. And that's what one of the biggest things I took away from the Bible study is like, all right, if you put it all in God's hands, this perfect entity, and try and get the love from there, then you can actually feel what you was feeling. But if you put it into, oh, I need my mom to love me, like Ant was saying, well, my mom didn't love me, so when I'm a parent, I'm going to love in this way. Your child may not need that. Because if you give them a 2-parent household, it's like the kids that come in the NBA that are children of NBA players. They not hungry the same way they dad was. They come from 2 parents household. They live in suburbia. They didn't grow up eating out of making cereal.
They never had oodles and noodles. Oh.
You talk about, oh, what did you grow up like? And they're talking, and you hear like someone like LeBron say, oh, I was using water as milk sometimes. You think Bronny James has ever had to walk into his fridge and think about that situation where I wanted some cereal, but I ain't got no milk? So when you put it into that perspective, sometimes you go off of trauma, you parent off of trauma, you teach off of trauma, you become a sibling, you become a lover of trauma.
Yes.
So it's like, you got to do the work, because if you don't do the work, all you're going to do, and Ant said this on the last pod, or one of the pods, if I'm dating Sarah, and I'm away from Ferdy, so Ferdy, my girlfriend, if I'm away from Ferdy, but I didn't heal from Ferdy, and I didn't take the time to heal from it. Me and Sarah 5 years in, now she's dealing with Ferdy. Like, because we didn't go over it. So now she's like, why are you responding to me like this? What's going on? I didn't do anything, but what you did reminded me of Ferdy.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So real quick, so 2 things. One, you said something earlier, then I want to go back to something you just mentioned, right? About like the possibly being selfish, right?
Yeah.
Adding a different layer to it, right? And tying it into like the sort of like the grace piece, right? And you guys, tell me what you think about this. So selfish, I'm thinking it's like the intent behind it, right? So we're both people, right? They're responding in the way that they think, right? That is the most appropriate response, right? They're, assessing the situation, judging the situation based off of like their own perspective, right? How things should play out, right? Not saying it's right, But on both sides, I feel like it also is like that's where it's important to like provide that grace, because you're going to constantly. I was telling my nephew this also. I was telling him, I said, you think about some of those old couples that have been together for like 60 years.
Oh man,
right?
I love talking about
Right?
them. I love talking about them.
You can hear the difference as far as like how they frame
Yeah.
the miscommunication or conflict. It's like, oh, he drive me crazy, but I love him to death.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that contempt behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you did this because you don't respect me. You did this because you're trying to control me. You did this because you don't love me. It's not that. It's like, you're absent-minded. How are you so forgetful, right?
Yeah.
It's never like a contempt of character.
Mm.
Right?
That's it,
That's
bro.
so tough.
He's spitting because it's really fact.
That's fire.
And I'm just thinking in my head all the different relationships that like I counsel with, or people bring to me and they bring me their issues, and it's just like, are you hearing what you're complaining about?
You
Because
playing with my
this is-
character.
Because if I said name X person and describe him, you would bring into a character for that he's forgetful. But now you're assassinating him
My
for being forgetful.
It's a whole different
Like, he don't care about me. But when you met him, you told me a characteristic that he had was forgetful. So why don't he care about you?
Right.
So it's like you were saying, I was just thinking, like, when
That's
people
tough.
get together, it's just frenemies.
That's so
Right.
tough.
Like we friends when everything's going well, but we enemies when there's a conflict that comes up.
Right.
That's so tough.
I told my nephew, I said, it's almost like in that dynamic, if it's not corrected, if both people don't correct it, it's almost like that movie, like 50 First Dates.
Mm.
You're constantly starting over, trying to refresh the person's memory. Like, that, no, this is me. This is me. This is all the other positive character traits that you remember that we talked about, that we fell in love about.
Yes.
Right. Like, that shouldn't get erased because of that one piece of feeling however you feel. Right. And then the other part I was going to say about the athletes. It's a movie you guys can watch about it's an old movie, The Story of Us. And it shows Bruce Willis and like Michelle Pfeiffer, right? But at one point they're like arguing in the bed next to each other, and while they're arguing, their parents are popping up next to them. Like, it's just like they're not really there, but they're popping up and they're mirroring the same sort of things and toxic things that their mom and dad is saying, and vice versa. So it's always like, and even though you have those two people in the bed, you technically have 6 people, right? Or however many
That's
people.
fire.
That is actually a great
That's
analogy,
that's an amazing analogy.
because you are bringing along with you whatever you went through and whoever gave you that advice and whoever you lean on towards advice. So you're bringing all that inside of your relationships.
Y'all got my mind going. I'm gonna tell you, cause look, I'm processing like what y'all saying. You wanna know why? Like, you wanna know why it was hard for me to apologize to some people in the past? Cause I felt like they was playing with my character. That's why. Because of what you just said, like flaws in character, and I talk about this all the time. Flaws in character. If you gonna point out my flaws, then point the flaws out. Like you said, forgetful. All right, maybe I forgot something. But how you correlate that to me forgetting you? Now I feel like you playing with me. Because now we on the phone. Now you saying stuff that's crazy, and now you making me out to be an enemy. When really, if you look at this from a helicopter point of view, I was forgetful 2 times out of what?
I'll even bring this to conversations. I was just having this conversation not too long ago. Someone was talking to someone new in a new relationship, and she was saying that I've asked them like a couple times already, like, what is this? And I said, one of the most dangerous questions women ask men is, what is this? What you should be looking for is the character traits, right? His character will speak everything of what you need. If he's a timely person, if he's a man of character and he takes in good substances, then and you're a good elk, he'll want you to be around that. He in his brain, he's already formulating how he wants that to lay out. You asking what is this, then really is questioning what is going on with you. What are you used to? What is the characters that you've had in your past that you had to question it? So then it you know what I'm saying? It just spirals into things. I think if you have
While still giving me access.
Wow. Right.
Like that's yeah, that sounds crazy. How you giving me access, but then asking,
What is it?
what is this? What you think it is? Ain't I'm right here? Like,
Right.
And his character, and this is the thing, like I use my relationship now as like what I tell people to go off, like how I would tell people to go off of, because my girlfriend didn't ask me at the time, what is this or what's going on. She listened to what I said, the character of me, she took into it. She held me up at my pitfalls. She questioned the things that didn't make sense, or she made a face that I would have to answer to later in my mind. Like, why did you make that face?
Mhm.
Did I slip up? And then my results is I told her what it was. I laid out a foundation. If he's not laying out a foundation, you need to speak to you. Because I think that goes, like I was having this conversation not too long ago. If you're looking for a leader lays out the foundation,
mhm.
right? Like when you go into
From the
a
beginning.
job, right?
Yeah.
Right. You go into work, the boss comes out and say, hey, this is what I got planned for the next 6 months. This is what we about to execute. If I'm just walking into work and I don't know what's going on, then there's really no plans around here. Like, where are we getting other money from? If this funding go, is our jobs ending? Or he should be looking at, all right, we need to map across the board. We need to be pulling from all different things. So that's what you should be looking for in measuring things and measuring your relationships.
I got a reflection piece for y'all. If you had to talk to a part that's unhealed of your younger self as your mature self right now, like you look into that camera, and then I go last, what would you say? Like, what would you say to your younger self? The unhealed part, the part where the wound is kind of still open or something that has yet to be addressed. What would you say to your younger self?
I think I would focus on it's a good one. Stay grounded in your faith.
Mm.
Stay grounded in your faith. And don't allow like your feelings or emotions or fear to like hijack your direction.
Mm. Mm. Okay. What about you?
I'm thinking learn the why, but don't chase the why. Have grace. It will come. When you demand the why for things in your life that may take years to get the answers to, you're just gonna do things that are gonna self-erode you and put yourself in predicaments to make yourself feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And accept things from other people just to feel good that you shouldn't allow. So be conscious of the why, but don't chase it, because it will come to you when it's needed.
Okay. I would say forgive faster. I think majority of the forgiveness that I operate in was like reactive, not proactive. So in the moments where it had to be, it was the toughest thing to do, because then my assumptions would get in the way, and I'd be like, well, what if they say this? Then how I'm react this way? Or what if they do this? Then I'm react that way. None of that should matter. It should be proactive. I forgive you in advance because maybe our definitions don't align. Maybe we saying the same word, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But our definitions ain't the same. And if our definition and standard ain't the same, I can't expect the same type of behavior, result, or outcomes. And for majority of the time, as a child, I was looking for the same type of reciprocity with people that just didn't have the ability to give it. And as I got older, I had to forgive them for that. So imagine forgiving somebody, not for the action that you did, but for the action that they did unknowingly. That's what I would say. And I'm still in the process of that as well. Yeah. Another question around. What's currently right now, what's your deepest wound? Like right now, what cut the deepest in your life that you need healing from?
My dad passing.
Your dad. How did that affect you? Or it still does?
Still does.
Okay. How does that affect you?
Jeez. It's just he passed that when I was young. He passed when I was like 17.
Okay.
So years. So it's so many different things that have happened since then.
Mhm.
That I would love to like sort of like have conversations around.
Mhm.
Things that I became passionate about. I would love to have conversations around that. Yeah, and so I just felt like a lot of things was sort of like not incomplete, but the curiosity, like the curiosity around like what things could have been based off of those conversations.
Okay. And then, if he was here today, what would you say to him?
Trying to take there. First thing is I love him. Yeah, that'd be the first thing. I can't hands down. I love him. Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I'd take it to a spiritual level. Questioning God's timing. I think I spent a lot of my life asking for things. And knowing now, if I was given those things, I would probably have corrupted it, or it would have just fell out of my hands. So I would have been back at square one. So I think what God's putting me through now is answering for those things that I did prior. So yeah, just questioning God's timing and just trying to be humble in that. Like, you can ask the questions, but that don't mean you're gonna get the answers. And it's not on your time, and it's when I feel like you're ready for it, if you're even eligible for it. Because my ask and wants could not be his will or desire. It could be just something I manifested. So trying to distinguish that is, I think heavier than anything. Because the stereotypical answer would be like mom and dad, but I think a lot of people go through life without their mom and dad. So I think, did that hurt? Yeah, but it is what it is now. But I just think that's the thing that I think of when I think of my life and how much I've spent questioning God. I think that's been the biggest thing that has corroded my road to being successful. Because if I would have dove in, I met an Ant or John earlier, I would have been at a higher peak in life than I am currently right now.
Mine's is layered. The more I step into my identity of where God has me and who he called me to be, the more I don't recognize the people that I grew up with. And the more they don't recognize me. And it hurt because whether it's my family or my friends, here with a second layer of it, I might not see them on the other side. That's the part that hurt me the most. So, but I got to spend the rest of my life being around them. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm going to Christmas parties and Thanksgiving, and I just was on the phone with my mom yesterday. And you could tell my mom getting old because my mom never just ran her mouth like that. My mom be chatting for real, bro. She be chatting. And majority of the conversation, I was quiet because I was realizing that she was getting old. And I was also realizing if she don't get it together, whenever God decided to take her life, I don't know if I'm gonna ever see her again. That's the conclusion I came to at the end of the conversation. So, it don't matter who it is, the people closest to me, it is that for me. And so it's a grieving thing that happens. I was explaining this at the Bible study. I'm in this constant space of grieving because I desperately want everybody to be saved. Like, that's my desperation. And but I'm also obedient enough not to put my hand on it. You know? So my dilemma in prayer be, God, let me fix it. Just let me, I think I know what they say to him. Just let me do it. And he like, don't say nothing. You'll become collateral damage to whatever answered prayer that's going to come. And I got to trust his timing in it, you know? And then I also be thinking about, like, to your point, like with your father, my great grandmama is the one that brought me into the faith, and she didn't get to see it, none of it play out. So I wonder how she feel. And I never know. And every time I preach, and this time I never said out loud, but I'll say it. Every time I preach, and like, I'd never look into the crowd and see none of my family, but I know she would be there, you know? So that I'm proud of you, or that first hug coming off the stage, it would never be her. So I grieve stuff like that all the time. So that's the deepest wound for me.
Can I connect off that same part of, like, because you have it in your heart that you know. In my heart, I don't know. And that's the, like, I'm like, that's one of the things I fear the most. Like, I'm here and I'm here now, but is what I'm going to do from now until whatever time it is for me to go good enough to get in? And how do I know that my belief is devout to enough for me to get in? That's something I, like, think about constantly as I watch and I'm around people. I'm like, how do you discern, like, how you think you getting in? You know what I'm saying? Like, you look, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the fruit of that. And I'm just like, I'm still a dark individual. I still have deep, dark thoughts inside my head that wrap around me. And I'm like, I'm trying to be better. But at the end of the day, like, that's something I question. Like, how good is good enough?
Last question I'm going around. The last time y'all cried?
Probably a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
May I ask for you care to explain?
Oh yeah. But sometimes, so this happens, right? Where it's like this may sound like it's like scripted or even cheesy, right? But sometimes I'll just get like a rush around, like a reflection of, as far as like my spirituality, right?
Yeah.
And it sort of like hit me about just like things I've survived, things I was blessed to like not like fall prey to. Think about some of the mistakes I've made, but still sort of like, you know, being able to like push through. And it's just the humility and the reflection on the amount of blessings is like, it gets overwhelming, and it will hit me at random times. Like, it just hit me. Yeah, it'll just hit me like at random times. I was away. I was telling you, I was away, and I was like having like an amazing time in a different country and everything. But yeah, I just broke down. Yeah, I just broke down. I started thinking about like just a reflection on everything.
Yeah.
And I just broke down.
Yeah.
Well, that's powerful.
Yeah.
I actually feel like I'm a vacuum when it comes to crying, bro. Like, years. And even when I remember crying, it takes such a built up amount of energy for me to cry. I'm like very numb when it comes to life, like super numb. And I'm trying for years now. I'm trying to get out of it. Ant has said something to me about a person that was leading him, talking to him like he was the weakest leader, and he challenged him for crying because he's like a leader has the ability to know their emotions and know what's going on, be in touch. And that side, I guess it's, if you can look at it as a major weakness for me, because I don't know how to tap into that. I don't even, at this point in my life too, I don't even know what it would, like the thought, I have this thought the other day, I'm like, I would miss my grandmother. I love my grandmother, but I don't know the impact of crying. Like, I don't know if that would hit my soul to cry. I think everybody asks as a question, like, yeah, I would cry, but I don't know. I hope I do. Like that was she's a very meaningful woman to me in my life, but I don't know. I'm just numb. So
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
I was talking about in the Bible study again. What I was saying, that God is transitioning me. So I went from this season of like abundance. I can't remember the last time, within the last maybe 2-3 years. I can't remember the last time God actually told me no. But then I'm transitioned. Now I'm in a season of like back to the valley, back to stuff being dry, to keep me humble, so my ego won't grow out of it. And I cried, but not out of frustration. I cried because I know what it looked like. I remember being there. I remember being in the dry season. And I remember how tough it was in it. And I'm right back in it. But this time, I don't, I have no, like, I'm not going to pull away from God in it. Last time I didn't either, but now it was more closeness that I got with God. And which means this, he going to strip me of more things. That's what that mean to me. So once I was able to calculate it like that, like, oh, all right, is it stripping that's coming? I got to now embrace for like whatever it is. All right, God, what we doing here? And trust him in it. So I know that's coming. I just don't know exactly what it looked like. But in the crying, it was crying like joy. I was telling John this the other day. He called me. And I heard it in his voice cracking, and he said, yo, I finally know what it means to be in gratitude. Like, he was sitting in gratitude. I start my day like that, in gratitude. Like, I always remind myself of like God's protection and the things that he kept me from that I can't even tally. And then I'd be like, okay, that's enough. That's enough for the day. Let me start my day. Let me go ahead. And so I try to start my day like that, in gratitude. But yeah, that's.
Well, we appreciate you coming
That's
on
that.
the pod,
Oh,
bro.
man, thank you for having me.
Yeah, nah, we definitely appreciate it. I just want to say this before we close. If nobody told y'all two brothers, I'm proud of y'all. Seriously. Like, today I had a great time on the pod with y'all. We was able to unpack healing, what it looked like in others, and then it got to ourselves. And I don't think as Black men, I don't think we hear that enough. So I'm definitely proud of y'all, and I appreciate y'all even opening up that way. And for y'all. All right. Again, thank y'all for locking in. Like I said, we here to have these real, intrusive, prosperous conversations. Continue to like, subscribe, comment below. Until next time. Love y'all. What's up, y'all? If y'all like with this conversation that we've been having, the Inner Circle, man, first of all, if you want to be a guest, feel free to hit us up, man. We're going to look into your credentials, see who you are. If you fit the criteria, then feel free to sit down on this couch right here, the hot seat. And another thing, like, subscribe, and lock in with us on all social media platforms, Our Friendly Advice. And to visit our website is ourfriendlyadvice.net. You can book us there. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.